John 15:18 to 16:3 presents a sober shift from the intimacy of abiding in the vine to the inevitable conflict that arises between those who share in that life and the surrounding world. The passage is not merely predictive, but interpretive. It explains why opposition occurs and what it reveals about both parties. The world in this context is not creation itself, but the organized system of thought, identity, and religious confidence that stands in contrast to the life revealed in Christ. When Jesus says, "If the world hates you, know that it hated me before it hated you," he anchors the disciples' experience in his own. Their rejection is not accidental, it is participation in his story. The hostility they face is evidence of their alignment with him. He goes further. If you were of the world would love its own. This exposes a fundamental distinction, not behavior modification, but origin. Those who are his are described as having been chosen out of the world. Their identity no longer arises from the same source as those who oppose them. The tension, therefore, is not primarily moral but ontological, two different sources of life in conflict. The reminder, a servant is not greater than his Lord, reinforces continuity. As he was treated, so they will be. This is not a call to endure hardship for its own sake, but an unveiling of the pattern already established in him. Rejection becomes a confirmation of union rather than a contradiction of it. Jesus then exposes the deeper issue. They do not know him who sent me. The rejection of the disciples is ultimately rooted in a failure to recognize the Father as revealed in the Son. This ignorance is not neutral. It is willful, especially in light of the works and words that have already been given. If I had not come and spoken to them, they would not have sin, but now they have no excuse. The presence of Christ has brought clarity. What was once concealed is now exposed. Hatred, then, is not merely emotional, it is revelatory. He who hates me hates my Father also. The visible rejection of Jesus unveils an unseen rejection of God. The works he performed, unique and undeniable, remove any ground for misunderstanding. Yet the response is not belief, but intensified opposition, fulfilling what was already written. They hated me without a cause. This lack of cause underscores the irrational nature of the hostility. It is not grounded in truth, but in resistance to it. The introduction of the Helper, the Spirit of Truth, marks a transition. He proceeds from the Father and bears witness to the Son. The disciples, having been with Jesus from the beginning, also bear witness. Their testimony is not independent but aligned with the Spirit's work. What they proclaim is not new information, but the unveiling of what has already been established in Christ. Chapter 16 begins with a purpose statement. These things I have spoken to you, that you should not be made to stumble. The warning is preventative. Being put out of synagogues and even facing death at the hands of those who believe they are serving God could easily shake one's confidence, unless understood morosh, as part of the unfolding reality. The phrase, "they will think they are offering service to God," is particularly striking. It reveals that opposition will often come not from irreligion, but from deeply held religious conviction. Yet this zeal is disconnected from true knowledge, because they have not known the Father nor me. This returns to the central issue, misrecognition of God's character as revealed in Jesus. Finally, these things I have told you, that when the time comes, you may remember that I told you of them. Memory here is not mere recollection, but stabilization. When events unfold, the disciples are not to interpret them as failure or abandonment, but as confirmation of what was already spoken. Taken together, this passage frames persecution not as an interruption of divine purpose, but as an expected manifestation of two contrasting realities. Those who share in the life of Christ stand as a living testimony that exposes what is contrary to him. The resulting tension is not accidental. It is intrinsic to the revelation of truth.